a screenshot, so
Yeah,
now you know.
that's right.
Hi to everyone.
If only they could
on.
hear the conversation that goes on while we're taking a
my
screenshot for
goodness.
these videos about what crazy face I'm going to be making.
Yeah. I'm like,
Hello and welcome to today's video, today's upload.
Oh my gosh.
We'll give it a minute to let some people sign on. Thank you very much. I'm going to just move the camera down a bit because that feels like that's there. Is that better?
Yeah, I think so.
But
It's when I'm-
well, we'll have to see what it looks like over there. All these fine tuneries that have to happen. Hello to Janice and to Marilyn in England and Kathy and Deb. I see Sandra and Missy
I knew you were gonna do it.
and Jana and Jan.
Hey.
I feel like I'm about to bust out into
Hey, Matthew.
a Christmas carol. I see Teresa and Melissa and Marcy and Jenny.
Ew.
But do you recall the most famous subscriber of all? What would their name?
Ruth Clement.
It's not Rudolph. Maybe we have some German viewers today. It's like, yeah, that's me. I'm Rudolph. It makes sense. See, I'm a viewer, and my name's Rudolph.
Yep.
You never know. Oh my goodness. So Chris Kahn is saying, I think this is the bot. This is kind of what we're joking about right now.
Joking and not
Joking, and it's kind of the part of what today's topic is social media. Oh boy, how fun it can be. Here's what happened. I'll give you the lowdown. Very few of you subscribers out there are on my Facebook page. But for those of you that are, and there's about 40,000, 41,000 out of the 400 or so thousand people
There's like
that are on there.
40,000 of them?
Yeah, there's about 41 or
now
42,000 people.
Now it's a much smaller group at least then.
Yeah, so there's about 40 some odd thousand people that are on our Facebook page as well, which is Curiosity as well. Anyway, so for those people that are on our Facebook page, we ended up, not our YouTube channel, we had nothing to, it's just us doing the YouTube still as always, and that's kind of our main thing.
YouTube is what we are, is YouTube. It's just kind of an extra to be able to talk to our viewers, but that is not us, is our Facebook page. I mean, it was very once in a while that we would even go on there. So
yeah, well, I would go on and post things every so often.
I know, but it's not like our videos are what we're doing for everybody.
Yeah, we primarily do YouTube and run a business and do stuff here.
Real life.
Which yes, real life stuff, yes. But I try and communicate through Facebook or occasionally through Instagram as well to let people know what's going on. But the Facebook folks, boy, are they ever up in arms right now. And let me tell you why. I'd say most of our Facebook folks are up in arms. We were contacted by a company called Jelly Snack. And they're Facebook social media management company that manage accounts for people like Mr. Beast and some pretty big YouTubers, which we don't really, we're not in that league of those big channels, but we are at a spot right now where there's an opportunity for somebody to help us out, basically so that we
utilize another.
Yeah, so it's essentially so that we have a little bit of help with that side of it. And basically all they wanted to do was to re-edit a lot of our old YouTube content into Facebook Reels, post those Reels, and then help with the management of our page to a small degree.
And it makes like our old videos new again, because like a lot of people haven't even seen some of the videos because they're just coming on for the first time. So
yeah, there are some folks that have seen a lot of the videos, but there's a lot of videos out there that have not been seen yet. So they're kind of going through and they're re-editing. They're starting in the archives and they're going back to the earlier videos, and then they're kind of working their way forward and they're trying to find interesting stuff to engage people to come to check out the Facebook page and so forth.
And people that are on YouTube, they can see which videos are brand new because you're a subscriber.
Yeah, if you're subscribed to us on YouTube, you'll get the notification when there's a new video. So some folks were upset because it's not really my style in some ways, where they are using sort of like flashy graphics and stuff, but they're trying to reach a younger demographic because they think this old man might be able to reach a younger demographic, and so they're doing their thing. Anyway, that has caused some folks to be up in arms. But to those folks, I say, please be patient. Please know that we are trying to pass along some of that social media presence to somebody else, specifically Facebook. They want to be successful. They want to do a good job. Their goal is to try and gain more people to the Facebook page and engage with them. But if you want new content and stuff, this is where it is. It's YouTube. They just go back and they kind of regurgitate the YouTube stuff. So anyway, we're not rechanging our branding whatsoever. Belinda says, I think you're changing your branding isn't good. We're not changing our branding. We have a social media platform that's just not really changing the branding, but trying different graphics and stuff.
It's the exact same videos.
It's the exact same videos edited a little bit differently.
But people do not like change. And as soon as they think that there's a change, somehow they think it's all right to attack. And it's not.
Well, anyway, we won't get into that. We know that at the heart of it, people are used to a product, I guess, that we provide, a type of content we provide, which is more Mr. Rogers-y.
Yeah, very calming and
yeah, more like jazz music and birds in the background and stuff like that. And theirs is a little bit more flashy, and I think that you know, there's definitely that sort of difference in the way they're approaching.
It does feel different, like the.
But we have them working with us for the next few years.
Yeah.
So on Facebook only. So if you notice that difference, just provide them feedback. They'll get their groove right. They know what they're doing. They work with some really big social media people, and we just want to let them kind of take the reins through a bit of Facebook. And
it's going to be a bit of trial and error because they're new. I mean, they're not new. They've dealt with other big YouTubers and everything, but we're new for them, so they don't know our. Our subscribers.
Well, they're learning our brand, and they're learning stuff. Right. They're taking what works for them with other stuff, which some people said, well, it seems like it's really clickbaity. That's the whole point of YouTube and Facebook, is to make your video watchable for somebody so they'll think that it's interesting.
And they go back and watch that video.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is all you get is that little screenshot that makes you decide whether you think you should watch it or not. You're fighting against hundreds, if not millions of people out there posting videos every single day.
That screenshot is stressful, you guys.
Yeah. So anyway, social media is a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful for so many reasons for our family to reach different goals, to have all sorts of wonderful things come out of it. If it wasn't for subscribers and for our YouTube channel, we would never have met and helped some wonderful people. And we want to continue to do that in the future. So this is just one step that helps alleviate a little bit of that pressure, so I can go back and keep working on content and keep doing things that we want to do.
It's kind of nice seeing somebody else's view on things too, where they're like, you know what, you're not utilizing this. You could be bringing up some old videos and see how it does. And we thought, we aren't doing that. So let's, it's all trial and error. That's how we learn. So.
Yeah. So they're going to work their way through it. So for all of you there, Matthew, thank you for being supportive of it. We're giving it a go. I want them to be successful. And I think about this partnership even. Right now, it was just me, some guy, slogging out stuff and saying, hey, look at this, or saying a dad joke every so often. The worst part is now when I say a dad joke, they're like, this isn't Alex, this is fake Alex. And I'm like, what do I got to say? Yabba dabba do, it's Alex or something for you to know it's me. So I did. And they're like, I still don't think this is actually Alex. I'm like, okay, this is going to be challenging.
Well, they put Curiosity Inc. team, I believe.
They respond as a team member. Yeah. They say, what's your favorite thing? And it's from the team. And what I want you to know is that there are people who have a job now who are helping us with our Facebook that would not have normally had a job. And so when you see somebody out there who's writing, hey, they're trying to engage you from the team, that's some person. That's a person who lives in North America here, and they've got a job now, and they're getting work, and all they want to do is create engagement, talk about antiques and stuff too. So it is providing employment for other people as well. There's at least a few other people that have gotten jobs at their end of it as a result of helping our channel. There's editors, there's people. So it's actually kind of a nice thing, because it is helping out people in other areas too. And their goal is just to help engage people. And they think that our channel is cool, and they want to attract new people to our channel and to our social media. So at the end of the day, it is all for very good reasons. It helps us get a little bit more time back. Mind you, lately it's been kind of exhausting managing people's expectations on Facebook. So I do want to step back from that. So I sent them a message and said, I sure hope that they can kind of get in the groove there and just respond to some of those people.
Jess Buggy said, hope your YouTube channel doesn't change.
No.
The thing with YouTube is that we like having the control over because this is our lives. So with YouTube, it's a little different because we like having the creative control over it.
Somebody said, "Are you guys gonna two cute puppies?"
Not today, or not. Are you guys ever going to dig up the mystery door? It is going to happen because there is no way I can live knowing that there is some mystery rectangle in my yard that might have something down there. I really think it's going to be a root cellar or something, but I mean, it could just be a rectangle of rocks. But I need to know, and I feel like you guys need to know too.
We're talking about a mystery hatch that's in our yard.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know,
This is starting to feel like an episode of Lost. First, I'm looking at airplanes and airplane relics for sale, and then now I'm looking at, a hatch that's hidden in the ground. If it says Dharma Corporation somewhere on it, I'm going to really start to wonder. By the way, the last video wasn't me necessarily buying anything. I went out there with the expectation maybe there might be something I could buy.
so you never know what's going to happen on a pick.
But I'm not really looking for a passenger jet plane or a fuel tanker
Thank
truck.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Those airplane tugs are kind of cool. They definitely have a sci-fi kind of look to them. And I was thinking, I wonder if I could hook up a plow to it. And I'm like, nah, that's stupid.
But everybody got to meet Dale.
They met probably, Dale was in a video that we did before. True. And Dale, Dale is just, Dale is a wonderful person, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the last video where it's called, I think, airplane salvage or airplane, what did I call it? Airplane liquidation, or I don't know. Anyway, he said there's a place that has this stuff, and he used to be the director of an airline. So he's really knows his stuff, and he's a licensed pilot too. So maybe we'll go up together at some point. I really would like to get my pilot's license at some point, even so I could fly a small aircraft.
Can you imagine me being the backseat driver when
No, you wouldn't get in. You would not get in.
That's true.
But I do have an interest in maybe at some point. It would be fun to have but then you have to have a hangar and you got to have all this other stuff.
Yeah, but you have friends that know people that could figure out a hangar.
Well, that's why our friend Howard has his own airstrip for his little airplanes to take off from.
Maybe you could just park your plane at his airstrip.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always, after I got to fly Cessna once, I didn't take off. That's the hard part, is taking off and landing. Didn't do those things. I would imagine landing is a lot harder than taking off. Because one, you kind of just you're like, oh, we're up in the air. And then when you go to land, you're like, ooh, you better know what you're doing. Maddie, thank you so much for the super chat from New Zealand. Is that New Zealand?
Yeah. I thought that you're good with the flags. I thought I don't even know.
No, I'm pretty sure Maddie's in New Zealand.
Cool.
Yeah. But no, it was great fun. I had a great time. That's when we went. I was in this airplane initially because we were scouting locations for a movie, and the type of farm we were looking for was really specific, and I was having trouble getting a grasp of locations from down on the ground, and so we chartered a Cessna airplane for a day to go and fly around out in the country in Manitoba.
It's Australia.
It's Australia. No, is it Australia?
Kathy said, no, that's Australia.
No, well, the New Zealand flag is very, very similar. Okay, Aussie flag, haha. Okay. Well, the Australian-New Zealand flag is very similar from it going by. I apologize if I got it wrong. Oh, New Zealand is red stars. That's the difference. Okay. There we go. It was blue with
I'm terrible with, unless it's I'm really bad with countries' flags. Yeah. Well, I know ours. I mean, I got one.
But yeah, I was in this Cessna plane, and we were scouting locations, and I got to the pilot said, "You want to take over for a bit?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And we flew over Lake Winnipeg and all around. And I had probably a good couple hours of flying. It was super fun. And I hope to have a chance to do it again sometime. Mudlarking Magpie says, "Hi, caught you live. Hope we're okay." Yeah, we're okay. Joanne says, "Look at your Instagram message. I sent a picture of something you like. It's nice, Melissa. I teach preschool too." Oh, I'll have to look at my Instagram messages.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of work, though.
And Mudlarking Magpie also has a YouTube channel that's really interesting. After this, you should go and check her out.
Yeah, and mudlarking, for those that don't know, is basically going down by rivers and stuff and looking for treasure.
She finds some pretty cool stuff, and then she crafts with it, and yeah, it's pretty amazing. She sent me a necklace that's really nice.
Matthew says he claims the underground room if it's a room. You live in a bunker?
He was going to take the watershed, so that is maybe enough.
If Matthew's going to live with us, though, that means we have to treat him like family. We have to assign him chores like we do with everybody else. We all do stuff to help out. It's like a commune. Before you know it, we'll have you turn in butter and sell it.
It's just called a family.
Brother Matthew, you're going to have to churn that butter and sell it at the market. You're like, I'm regretting this decision. Anyway. Why suddenly?
You're still laughing.
Well, like, I don't know why I went to like some Pennsylvania Dutch commune or something, but like, here's your Pennsylvania Dutch like hat, one of those big hooded white hats. He's like a rock and roll guy who screams into microphones. I'm pretty sure that he doesn't want to.
I'm pretty sure they call it singing.
Yeah, it's
James?
a buried TARDIS. No, if it's a
That'd be
septic tank, it's a
awesome.
buried TARDIS.
Wow.
uh,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. Oh boy, oh boy. So anyway, yeah, it has been it's been something. We got on this conversation where we were talking about how social media is a blessing and a bit of a curse sometimes. If you change something a little bit, people just go off the rails. But no, the YouTube channel is staying the same, and we're all
So, Pomsky Life Novus. Oh no, sorry, I read the wrong one. Hold on, wait. Lisa Barnett.
Oh, what type of
But hi to
Pyrex are you
everyone.
looking for?
Yeah, so it's funny how this even happened. So I ended up getting a Pyrex bowl that is the Amish blue butter print, and I have the biggest one with the sides on it. Like I think they're pouring spells or something. And somehow it became a thing. Like everybody started looking for the whole set for me. But I was just lucky to. I'm like one of those people that was like, "Oh, this is a nice bowl," and I brought it home.
I was trying to surprise her today because somebody found one at an antique mall wasn't that far away, and I thought,
Yeah.
well, the price was a little bit high. They wanted a couple $100 for the set, and we only need 3 of the bowls. We don't need all 4. So I said, well, I wonder if they do like $150 or something, maybe we'll go for it. They said, no, it's 200 firm. That's that. And
But yeah,
so I was like, well, it's the sort of thing that I know I will find it in somebody's cupboard at some house that I go to. I go to estates almost every couple of days where there's a house or, or something. So I know that I'm going to find one
I was
somewhere.
surprised at how expensive these things. Like, I don't know what land I live in. You guys, again, I'm like the person that goes to the garage sale. I'm like $5. Yeah, okay. Not like
Yeah.
$200. And some people were like, that's a great deal. I've seen them for a lot less here, but I mean, I haven't been actively looking. I've been more likely to look now that everybody's been looking. I'm like, well, maybe I should. Oh my goodness.
It would just be nice to have the whole set, I guess.
Yeah,
but
because they
it's,
look so nice together. They do look
Yeah.
so nice together. And I love that pattern. It's not something that I'm necessarily collecting, but you better believe I would cheer if I found one at a garage sale.
There's little things that we look for. Like the only thing for me that I've been keeping my eyes open for is kind of like little Hot Wheel cars, red lines.
Yeah.
And for Melissa, if I see a little piece of jewelry that she likes, or if we come across, a little like we come across another Amish butter print set, then so be it. We'll bring it home. But we're not really collecting a whole lot for ourselves right now.
Yeah.
We're dead focused on getting the house built. That's pretty much it.
Moving means that you don't really want to accumulate a lot of extra stuff either. So it's.
I do plan on going a little crazy in the old car department though. Once we can afford to do that.
Oh, I know.
I didn't build that garage for nothing. I've sold off
Eventually.
almost every old car that I own. Still have the Jag, and we still have the old 1960 Plymouth Fury wagon, which I may or may not do something with come next year. I talked to a guy today that had a custom-built stainless steel, like a Winnebago type thing, like a camper, I guess like a motorhome. I don't know why the motorhome eluded me.
Did you see?
Did the red lines I sent, Gail says, did the red lines I sent from Indiana arrive? Were they ones that I bought from you, Gail? If so, I did get some in the mail that I purchased, but I didn't have any surprise red lines show up. But yeah, I did have some red lines show up in the mail. Always happy to see old Hot Wheels show up in the mail. That always makes me happy. It wasn't an Airstream, no. What it was, it's a custom built thing the guy built from scratch. But here's the thing about it. It looks like it's out of like some space age sci-fi movie. And he built it to actually be able to go in water. So it's a floating motorhome built out of stainless steel. I actually talked to the guy about maybe even buying it because it needs the interior completely done. It's totally gutted. But after talking to him, I'm kind of second guessing because it sounds like it needs a lot more than maybe what I want to get into. Anyway, he's going to call me tomorrow. But a floating motorhome that looks like it's out of a Stanley Kubrick movie might be making its way here. Who knows? It's such a weird oddball thing. I just thought it'd be fun to fix up.
Somebody asked if I liked the round daisy necklace. It's fantastic. I know. I wasn't expecting that at all. Alexander was like, look what I found today. I was going to actually wear it today, but I wore my necklace from my dad.
Oh yes, Gail. She said it was from the thrift store. Yes, I did, and I made the donation. I made a donation to the thrift store in turn for the items. So thank you so much for that, Gail. It's nice to have lots of eyes out there helping to look for the things that we collect. And I actually had a fellow who wrote me in Pennsylvania who has a whole pallet full of Hot Wheels I might be buying, primarily as inventory for the store, but there might be a couple in there that I need for myself.
Love in
Wouldn't
Circles
hurt.
said, I'm sending a 2.5 inch bowl?
2.5 bowl.
Bowl.
Oh,
Like the bowl?
well, that'd be super cool.
Oh my
But
goodness.
you have to let me know what I owe you for it. You
Yeah.
can email me.
And
then
plus
we can...
there's shipping and everything on
Yeah,
it.
it's not cheap to ship stuff to Canada.
Thank you very much for thinking about me though.
Oh,
Court.
Joanne says she loved the beautiful photo of you two on your honeymoon. Well, it's mainly just a picture of Melissa on our honeymoon. We took that honeymoon
yeah.
a year after we got married too.
Somebody said I was 19. I must have been 22, right? Because I had Stephen when I was 23 and I was pregnant with Stephen in that picture. But
Yes.
I looked like a little tiny child.
We always tell Stephen he's been to Italy,
Yeah, he's been to Italy.
even as a fetus.
I didn't feel like I looked that young when I was that young.
Well, it happens.
Oh my goodness.
You still look beautiful.
That the people in the boat with us as well. We went on a tour, like a Trafalgar tour, and that was people from our tour. They were fantastic.
We were in our 20s and we booked a tour with a senior citizen tour bus.
That's the
Tour group.
best way to go, you guys.
It was pretty awesome.
It was awesome.
Everybody,
People are all on time because they're adults.
the people that worked at the hotels were like, "You guys are with Trafalgar?" Oh, ha ha! They're
Really
laughing.
laughed. That
'Cause
was our
it's-
first moment
But
there.
I can tell you, if I ever did it again, I would much rather be in my 20s and be on a senior tour than because these are people who have like lived it all and they're just out to have fun and have experiences.
Yeah.
And there's no
And they
like,
know, like they might have been already, and they have suggestions of what to actually spend your time doing. That's amazing.
and there was no like partying nonsense and like people getting drunk and stuff. It was really good.
It was so amazing. It wasn't like how you imagine when somebody says like, no, I would for sure. That was one of the best things that we ever did.
But next time we go, we might be the seniors on the senior tour.
True. With some kids being like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to hang out with you.
But I want to go traveling again in the worst way. We are way overdue. We're way overdue.
I think we're all way overdue. Don't you guys
I
agree?
think many people are overdue. There's a lot of people out there watching right now who've been wanting to come to our store that haven't even had the chance.
Yeah.
So some of you have. We've had some surprise visits from people from faraway places that have showed up, and I've been like, "Hey, cool! You came to see us. That's pretty awesome."
Our wedding anniversary is on Cinco de Mayo, and
It is
been
actually.
married for on the next May 5th is 19 years. Right?
We didn't pick Cinco de Mayo.
No.
Cinco de Mayo,
Yeah.
not Cinco Denial. That's
was just-
that's
it
the one where I
just-
forget about our wedding.
Alexander used to work in the film industry, and he was in between movies, and that was like the only time available. So that's why we picked it. We didn't even realize it was Cinco de Mayo until somebody said, "Oh, they thought we did that on purpose."
Love in Circles says asking Alex if he knows someone interested in 1953 XKE Jag. Well, it wouldn't be an XKE; it would be probably an XK 120. But yes, that guy would be me. I like those cars, so you should email me at curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. Incidentally, if you have, this is where I do my own pitch. Wait, let me try and make it look like a commercial or something. Got something cool to sell? No, wait, that sounded wrong right off the bat. You got something cool you want to sell? Check this guy out. Email me at email Alex at curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. We're looking for all sorts of cool treasures, antiques, collectibles, from Hot Wheels right through to the Ark of the Covenant. I'll buy just about everything. You shouldn't own the Ark of the
You started
Covenant.
laughing.
Well, because how absurd would that be? Like, yeah, well, I'm interested in that Honda moped you got, and how much for the Ark of the Covenant next? Well, it's been in the family a long time. You know, don't open it though. Like, oh, don't worry.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. You
He's
shouldn't open
going.
it.
He's going. Kathy said, "I'd love to begin to travel again too. I'd like to come. I'd like to come to visit your store someday.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, we would love to see you too.
The stuff that the stuff that I find at people's houses, though, you do find yourself negotiating over really random things. Oh man. Yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna find when I go to people's places. You know.
Somebody said that they read that they have lead. I think I read that too. So I don't let anything sit in the bowls, and I don't actually cook in them. I just use them as a cooking.
But the lead would be on the outside, on the painted part, not on the inside. where
They
your food
tested
goes.
it, and apparently there's lead in the I don't know what. Apparently, you're not supposed to cook in the older ones because they might explode. So that's fine with me. I'm not cooking in anything. I'm just using it as a mixing bowl.
I think they said that when the Arctic explorers were going, like the Franklin expedition, and I found a piece that used to belong to Sir John Franklin in a house. That was a cool find. When the Arctic explorers were going, their canned foods were sealed with lead. And a lot of them kind of went a little crazy because they were eating lead the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
You don't want to be in the Arctic without any way back home and full of lead. It's probably not a great combination at all. Yeah, just start looking around and doing crazy things. But you got to be a different. I mean, could you imagine what that would be like? I imagine it'd be like. I mean, even space exploration. You're like, well, I can see Mars. It's that big ball up in the sky. We're gonna try and get there, and then this is how we're gonna get back. At that time when they went to the Arctic, they were like, we don't know. We're pretty sure like the only maps they had were flat with like a picture of waterfalls all around the edge. Like, let's go there, guys. You got to talk some crazy people into going with you. Like, well, I've got this boat. I don't know why he's a pirate now, but he is. He's like, I've got this boat, see? And we're going to sail to the edge of the map. And people at the dock, when he's like trying to hire crew, you know, like when in gang movies, when they're trying to hire the guy who knows how to crack a safe, he's hiring people who are like crazy enough. Like, you know, old Snaky Pete, who's got like one missing eye. He's like, well, I don't mind the risk. I got nothing to lose. And then they all get on their boat and they sail to the edge of the map where they think they're going to fall off. That's a different type of person. That takes some cojones right there to go to the edge of the map where like, I've got the map, sir, and it just shows a waterfall falling off the edge here. This big, anyway.
Somebody asked if we have started decorating for Christmas, and it's funny you asked because we just pulled the Christmas tree up today. So generally, Alexander's birthday is on December 5th. I mean, that's not general.
Cinco de December.
Yeah, Cinco December. But, so we wait until the weekend after his birthday. But we decided since this is our last Christmas in this house, we wanted a couple extra weeks of Christmas. So right now our tree is actually up right across from us. Alexander just put it up and the kids fluffed the branches.
Yeah, we'll do lights
and we're going to decorate tomorrow. So
I'm a little impatient. I might start stringing lights on today.
He's just a little impatient.
I like to get stuff done. If I know that my mom is the same way. If my mom is watching this, my mom Linda is exactly the same way I am. I cannot sit still if I know that something needs to get done. If there's dishes that have to get put away, if the lights have to go on the tree, if a car needs fixing, I just can't.
Alexander can't sit still ever. There could be nothing needing to be done. He's going to create a job to do.
True. I like think of stuff that's got to be done.
He has to be busy all the time.
I'm going to have a really hard time in retirement, don't you think?
Yes.
Like
I'm going to have a hard time. I'm going to have to find you like make work projects so that you don't go crazy.
I've already decided that if I do end up, and if I'm like an old hobbled old man in a wheelchair, I will like go to repairing watches or, you know, I don't know. I'll think of something to do.
I don't know if you'd be patient enough for watches, but you need to like, you know, maybe
I'll buy really big watches with giant gears where I'm like, yep, rather than the tiny stuff. Yeah. I can't imagine what truth be told, guys, I don't know what retirement would look like for me because I think I'll always want to fix something. I really enjoy fixing things up, whether it's a house or an old car or toys or whatever.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, these are my hobbies. My hobbies are finding cool things and fixing cool things up. The selling stuff is a result of me having to buy a bunch of stuff, but it's not my hobby to necessarily sell stuff to people.
Because you got to sell it in order to have money to get the new stuff.
It's not even necessarily what I would imagine my job to be. In fact, the least fun part about everything I do is selling stuff. And then I'm not saying I want to keep everything. I like going, finding stuff, bringing it back out into the open. And you're like, well, that happened. Now I don't need it. So it's got to go to somebody who does. So we end up doing these sales. And somebody wrote in one of my video comments, they said, I've never seen a small store have to sell so much stuff at auction. That's because I'm buying way more than that little store can fit. When you're emptying out entire houses, entire buildings, my store is 2,500 square feet, mainly with smalls, and we're getting furniture and boxes full of stuff. I don't need a lot of things. We don't need stuff in our personal life, and I don't need too much stock at the store where it's overwhelming. It's already pretty full at the shop, even with taking stuff out. So we do these auctions really regularly to try and keep things moving. That's what we do. If I didn't do the auction sales, my store would be a hot mess and I'd be shut down because you wouldn't be able to walk in it. And as much as it's fun to walk in stores that are like that sometimes, I've been in stores where it's been so overwhelming that I just walk in and walk right back out because you don't even know where to start. So I'm always looking at ways to thin the inventory, to move products along, and to stay busy doing it. And to do that, we do these auctions. Like December 4th, we're selling a whole bunch of random stuff.
December 4th?
December 4th,
Oh,
the
yeah,
day before my
before.
birthday.
Yeah.
Quattro du December. December. I'm not saying that right, I'm sure. Habla n'est pas France. Oh, habla, I don't speak French and Spanish. Oh, habla no anglais. Apparently, I don't speak English either.
Yeah. It's fine.
But no, we're doing the sale December 4th, and we're doing another sale December 18th, which is mainly records and things like that. I found that trying to do auctions that have like a theme are helpful every once in a while. And so we booked even another auction for January, which is just going to be like Hot Wheel toys and sports cards and things like that. So anyway, for all of you that don't understand why we do the auctions, it's just how our business has to run to be able to physically open our doors
But
every
it's
day.
also another form of revenue as well. So you don't just have that money sitting on a shelf. We need to have that money out to be able to buy more stock, especially if we have lists that people are looking for. So
Yeah, and if you have a store, and yes, I know I've said this before, and some of you have heard me say this before, but any business liquidates stock at some point. The way you see that is a lot of stores will do a sale rack. If you go into a clothing store, even the Gap, they'll have like a 60% off rack or something.
yeah.
And if it doesn't sell there, they ship it off to another store that maybe has better luck selling it. Liquidating and moving merchandise is a common part of business. Here's why I don't do a lot of sales in the store. I don't put, and I learned this, I might not have thought this way until after I worked at Apple for a while. When I worked at Apple, they wouldn't discount. They never did sales. Occasionally, if it was back to school, they would throw in a set of headphones if you bought a computer, but they would rarely or ever do a sale.
Even employees only get like a once every 3 years or something.
You don't really get much for discounts even as an employee. And what I learned about that is that when you do sales, let's say you're selling a shirt at a clothing store. That shirt is regular price $100. You do a weekend sale and you mark it down to $25 or $30. Well, when the weekend's over, you have to justify charging that $100 for that shirt again, because people will have walked in and said, well, last week I was in here and it was cheaper. And yes, you could say, well, that was just a sale or that was one day only and so forth, but it mentally devalues that product in their minds.
Yeah, you're never going to buy it if you know that it's going to go half price.
Yeah, people would just
I
wait for the
wouldn't buy
sales.
it. There's no way I would buy something full price if I knew it was going to go half price.
And some major retailers, in fact, get stuck in a cycle. Like I would say that I'm not naming names for any reason other than to give an example. Places like Old Navy send out little coupons and cash and bucks and stuff like that. And so their regular customers are actually trained to get into a cycle where they buy their products at the lowest margin that the company is willing to offer it for. So they never really see full margin on a lot of their products. So you have to be very careful when you're retail to figure out what sort of business model you have. I decided to go with more of that Apple kind of business model of standing behind my products, standing behind the prices. Mind you, we do haggle a little bit back and forth on stuff. But in general, we try and pick a price that is market price and we work with it from there. As opposed to we're going to occasionally blow stuff out in store and devalue the product and devalue the brand. We do these auction sales where like this stuff has got to go. It's going to auction. This is your chance to get it at a good price. It trains our customers that if you don't buy it when you see it in the store, it will not be there perhaps in a few months. But also it lets our customers know that occasionally there's auctions where you can find things that are really cool and get a good price on it. But we're fortunate enough that a lot of times we get very close to retail at the auction, so it's worked out very well. So that's why I continue to do these auction sales, because it helps with my business model of maintaining the structure of my brand and maintaining the value of our brand, but also to give us an opportunity to clear out stock and keep the store tidy and keep new product coming in.
How much is our fudge? I saw the question a couple of times.
$10 Canadian, so that's about $7 US for a brick of fudge.
It's pretty delicious. I had the mint one at your mom's.
Yes, the fudge is very good and a very good seller. And a lot of these products, sadly, a lot of the new stuff I carry at the store, the fudge, the jam, the honey, the tea, it's made for the Canadian market. And if it doesn't have a little sticker for import into the US, it will actually get seized at the border because they probably don't want to take money away from honey producers in the US or jam producer. I don't know. You have to have a special a label on the bottle or the container. So a lot of people say, I would love to order some of your products and have them shipped. And we've tried shipping them out, and those customers have got their boxes and said, there was no jam, there was no coffee, it was all removed. And it's so disheartening because I have to refund the customer that money, and I'm out the money now, and somewhere
And they didn't get
at the
product.
border,
Yeah.
they kept it, and my customer didn't get the
Scooping and
product.
having something to eat.
Or they throw, who knows what they do with it.
I think they probably pitch it, but
Well, hopefully
I
it goes to like a shelter at
I
least or
hope
something.
so because it's delicious.
So I am very eager to sell these products, but I can only sell so many things over the border, unfortunately.
Can you just pour the honey into a clock and sell me the clock?
Yeah.
You're thinking.
That's right. I can only imagine when they open up a clock full of all the grease and the
Oh.
grime from the gears all stuck and oozing out of there. Yeah, probably not great.
They toss it.
Oh, somebody says they toss the stuff. That's so unfortunate that
I know.
perfectly good stuff.
Well, you
being
never
tossed
know.
like that.
Like, yeah.
I remember I worked for a short time, for about a year or so, as a store manager, general manager for Target. And it drove me crazy because I had a background in buying and selling stuff. And they would throw out so much stuff. So much good product gets thrown out at big stores like that. Lego, this always got me because Lego would make these, you know, when you go into a store and they have those really elaborate Lego displays that are like in a plexiglass case. My first question, they're like, and this is the dumpster room. And I saw a guy offloading these Lego things, and I'm like, what? What's going on with the Lego? Thinking like, if you're just gonna throw it out, I'll gladly take it or donate it or do something with it. And they're like, oh no, it must be destroyed. And then you see it go in a little squisher bin and you crush it and off it goes. And I'm like, that's just sad.
April said Kastner's webpage says they don't take online bids. I find this curious.
No, they do take
Yeah, they
online
do.
bids. Yeah, Kastner's for sure. It's an online auction. through
Sometimes
Bid
they'll
Live.
have like a, what was it that they put on the very first?
Oh yeah, that's probably what
Page.
you're seeing,
Yeah.
April. Is that when they do an auction, there's like a picture that says today is the sale, and then it says no online bids accepted on this item. That's because you can't bid on a photo that doesn't
You have
exist.
to click in. It's like the cover of the book. You have to get in the book to be able to bid.
Yeah, and then
can't
once you
bid
see
on
all the
cover.
things, it'll show you what it's
Yeah.
bid at and everything. So like
Because
that.
I think people were looking at the very first, the picture to bring you in and wanting to bid on whatever they were trying to draw people in with. So that's the only thing you can't buy. You can't buy the picture that they're trying to get you to come in with.
Oh, thank you, Matthew, for posting the link there too. Matthew's just posted the link.
Yeah, he's posted it a couple of times.
Yeah.
He's on it.
So for us, it's important twofold. One, it clears the product out, and also when you're aiming for things, like I've said it before, this is probably the hardest I'm going to push to get our family situated is right now. I really, once our house is built and done, and once we get some landscaping done, I won't have to go as hard, full force into this, into trying to make everything come together. But I figure this is the time to do it when I've got the energy. They say make hay while the sun shines, farmer expression. But I believe that you should definitely try and push yourself to be as successful and as busy as you can to try and make things come together. And that's part of the reason also why we ended up getting help with Facebook pages, because I've got a lot going on. Setting up auctions takes a very long time, and it's a lot of work. So we're very, very grateful that that's one less thing that we'll have to really worry about too much. April, thank you so much for the super chat. She said there's a lot of people who dumpster dive in the United States because there's a lot of good stuff thrown out. Well, if people didn't dumpster dive in different places, I would never have met Adam, and Adam's life might not have altered somewhat because of his instinct to find cool stuff in a dumpster. So, you know, I would love, you know, if I go to the dump or the transfer station, I guarantee I'm looking for cool stuff. When you're dropping off garbage, sometimes you're like, well, that's a perfectly good lamp. What's that doing here? People throw out things that can be reused.
Kastner, do you think they take PayPal?
I don't know if they do. I don't know if they take
You can
PayPal.
call Kastner and find out, but PayPal can take a percentage, so I don't know if that would be smart for them to take PayPal.
Oh, thank you so much, Janice, for the super chat.
Because you're awesome, you forgot to read it.
Somebody wants to know if there's a lumberjack song that goes along with this shirt. You know what? This is not my old lumberjack shirt. This is a new one.
Yeah, it's soft. Like this looks like a crisp kind of shirt. This is like feels like pajama pants.
My foot's like doing the thumper right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, thank you very much. Miss Toots.
Miss Toots. And yes, Melissa looks lovely, as usual.
It is super soft. I like this shirt too.
Okay, now, settle down. You can just settle down. Yeah. Anyway, Susie said we should all sing the Monty Python Lumberjack song.
Oh, that it's so funny because I didn't realize how that song actually goes. I only knew the beginning part.
I'm like, that song goes a little off the rails in the second chorus.
This was a recent thing that happened because whenever Alexander came down with like whiskers and a plaid shirt, and I started singing it. And he's like, you know how that song goes, right? Nope, I didn't.
Yeah, she sang the first verse and I sang the second, and she's like, what now? And then I showed the video and she's like,
Oh,
oh.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Hope you guys are all doing well out there in your worlds. We've had, it's been warm this week where we are. We've been fortunate that we've not had the weather that British Columbia's had. Our poor neighbors to the west of us in British Columbia, Canada, beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, it is.
If you ever have a chance to visit, it's absolutely stunning. It's, beautiful mountains and valleys and rivers and creeks. Unfortunately, those beautiful rivers and creeks took a toll on the infrastructure and on the people out there. So there's quite a few towns that were washed out. There's bridges that were washed away. And so if anybody's watching in British Columbia, we really hope that you're doing quite well.
Main roads, like their main, like the Coquihalla Highway.
Yeah, the main highways are shut down.
Completely washed, just gone. It was I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
And as a result, it's also affecting this Christmas season where we are, because a lot of goods that come into Canada come in through the ports in British Columbia. That's your closest port to Asia. A lot of products come from Asia. They go to the port. They get put on trucks and trains and so forth, and they get brought here. With the highway down, there's kind of a shortage of some things, and we've been told, do your Christmas shopping kind of early because you might not have a chance to get those things you're looking for if you wait. With having major infrastructure down, it is definitely going to affect things. But we really hope that there's some fixes in the future for them, and that the weather stays a little more regular in the near future. But our best thoughts and wishes to those in British Columbia. We have family in BC, in the interior BC. My great grandparents were from British Columbia, and so we definitely want to make sure that that's not the only reason, but we want to make sure that we give good wishes out there to them. Maybe that would come in handy, having the floating RV. We wouldn't need to worry about, we don't need no roads.
Did you finish that story?
Where we're going, we don't need roads. No, I could buy the floating RV and we could just drive it across. But it's an RV that floats but doesn't have any way of propelling itself around in water.
I think, yeah.
That seems like a tricky situation. You just know at some point somebody's going to head for a creek or a stream and be like, look what my RV can do that yours can't. And they're like, okay, now turn around. Oh, I can't. I can't steer. Basically, he made himself like a floating log of a vehicle with no way of steering it or controlling it.
You can use oars, but it's out of an RV window.
We could keep it at the acreage like our Noah's Ark. We could keep it there, and we could we'll have to get another Chewy, but we'll have our 2 Chewies and you and me, and we'll just load up in the Ark.
So that's how I get another dog?
No, by flooding our acreage? Oh, what's funny is that somebody wrote, and I didn't realize this, in our area, if you live in the city, there's residential areas, there's neighborhoods. If you live in specifically an acreage subdivision, we call them acreages. So I said to Dale in my last video, I said, oh yeah, you should come out and see us at the acreages, or come look at one of the acreages out there. And somebody said, that's a unit of measurement, it's not a place. I'm like, well, here we use it to describe a place. Acreages would be like an acreage subdivision. So maybe it's colloquial.
Or just an acreage. You could just have, it's as long as you have over an acre of land.
But it wouldn't be abnormal for us to call up a realtor and say, we'd like to look at some acreages today.
Yeah. Means that you have more than an acre of land, and generally it's not within the city. It can be, as long as it's over an acre of land.
It's not a farm.
An acre or more of land, we call an acreage.
What do you guys say out there? No, we wouldn't say hectarage. No, we would say
an acreage.
An acreage. We own an acreage.
If you had a business on it and you were growing like, say wheat or cows, then you'd call it a farm. But yeah, we call it an acreage.
They call it development. We use acreage in Australia too. But in Australia, would they say, we live out next to the acreages, or we want to go look at some acreages?
Lorraine said property, land, or estate. We don't say that. Because we were looking initially for a house on an acreage. I mean,
property.
Yeah, same.
Estate sounds fancier though. If I would sound
Well, we call
snobby.
it the property. Our land right now, even with the house on it, we still call it the property. Let's go out to the property.
A country estate does sound classier though. Mike Latina sent us $10.
Thank
Hello,
you so
Mike.
much.
Thank you. Yeah. So our country home. Incidentally, I will say this: when I was a child, which was many, I feel like I'm channeling Police Academy. Many moons ago, I played many board games. And one of those board games was the Game of Life. And when you fill up your station wagon with your little peg people, doot, 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 and you go around the track, you finally get to the end, you have a choice to make, and that is, do you want to live in a city mansion or do you want to live in a country estate? And guess what I would pick? I'm not asking you.
Oh,
Of course, well, it's probably not that. I would pick the country estate. My older brother would always pick the city mansion, and I would pick the country estate.
but he's still like that, and you're still like that.
And so a lot of time, I feel like I'm playing the actual game of life. I feel like I've loaded up my little station wagon with all my little pegs. I got 2 little blue pegs and 2 pink pegs. One's Melissa, and she's up front
That's
with
good,
me.
he clarified that.
That's right. So there's a little blue peg for me and a little pink one for Melissa, and we've got our little pegs in the back of the station wagon. And we're tootling around the track, and then there's these little hiccups like, the city says you can't build your property. Go back 3 spaces, and you're like, no! And yeah, it's just been a crazy whirlwind, but I feel like I'm getting close to the end of the game of life.
What? You don't get to be at the end of the game.
Well, I feel like we're about, they don't say that the little family in the station wagon doesn't die when they get their country estate. It's not the end of their life. It's like, all right, kids, once we get home, we're all drinking the Kool-Aid. It's not like that.
Wow.
They need to have a part 2 of the game of life where it's like, now these people just enjoy having their little country estate.
Oh, now I can't remember what the question was. I'm holding an H, but I can't remember what it was for.
Yeah. So country estate, that's always been on my mind since we played Game of Life. And I even have a little station wagon. Mind you, you've not driven in it yet. It's not really super fancy, but maybe someday. Make a Curiosity Inc. game, please. Oh yeah, it would be like Snakes and Ladders, where just when you think you're accomplishing something random happens and you have to go back to the beginning.
Like almost there. Oh, Hans. That's why I'm holding an H. Have you talked to Hans lately?
I talked to Hans the other day, actually. Yeah, he was looking for a truck. I guess his old Dodge finally bit the biscuit. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a new or reliable vehicle, so he is kind of looking for a different truck right now. And I called or I texted him because I said my uncle was selling a
Yeah, I
truck.
was just gonna say.
But I don't know what Hans's budget is. I think my uncle's truck is a couple $1,000 outside of his budget. So I'll let Hans deal with that one. I know he'll find the right thing, and if he needs my help, I'll help him find one.
In Ontario, they just say property or land. What? I'm shocked.
Wow.
Bit the biscuit. Never heard that one.
I think maybe I just invented that. I don't think that's a real saying. Is it bit the
I
biscuit?
mean, we all know what you meant.
Kick the bucket? Yeah.
Bit the biscuit.
Yep. Let's see. Alex should create the Curiosity board game.
Yeah, bit the
Oh,
dust.
man.
I've heard that.
Yeah. I played Life with someone, and the husband bit the head off his wife's playing piece. Well, 1959 Woodstock. I'm sure that didn't. I'm sure that didn't create any awkward moments there when you're trying to play. Board games can be a fight in a box. Sometimes they're fun, but you don't want to get into like Monopoly isn't one where you have people over for like a casual like tea and crumpets. I don't know what you have at your place. Beer and cookies? That's a horrible combination.
No.
Beer and cookies, anybody?
You know what's a fight in a box, you guys? Nobody likes to admit it. The Christmas tree. Oh wait.
Love and Circle, thank you so much.
Christmas trees, they're great and all. But
Putting
I
out
mean,
the Christmas tree?
if you have, especially, maybe it's for all trees. You guys, I mean, putting it up, fine. You have to fluff this thing. You scratched all over the place. Then you have to put the lights on. The lights are not good times. Like there's no. It's so awful. But then we have fun putting up the ornaments. But up to that point, that's the fight in the box.
Monopoly is a fight, though, sometimes.
Well, it's so long, and then there's always somebody that you know is going to win. But if they want to play to the bitter death, like that's, you already know you've lost, but somehow they just have to like show you
Monopoly is the game that isn't
for an
about
hour.
playing a game. It's about finding out which of your family members are terrible, terrible people and liars. I feel like the bank is missing a lot of those $100 bills, and then somebody's like, no, as they have them clipped under the board. Where do you keep your Monopoly money when you're playing? I like to organize mine and tuck it a little bit underneath the board that's in front of me, so
Let
I
me
have
just
it
tell you,
organized.
it's not safe.
See what I mean?
It's not safe.
Can't play a game with this woman.
Actually, I don't cheat because I feel like the whole karma thing that I'm gonna automatically lose if I were to like sneak 100 or same with stealing in real life. I know it's not the same, but in my head it is. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Alexander has like, say he had even now he has red wine. I can't drink that, but I would for sure sneak a sip out of his drink. I tell him the truth about it.
That's true. That's not safe for either. Somebody asked if we are going to move into the new house this year,
No,
and
not this year.
it's still just plywood.
Mhm.
There's not much. I've been slowly working my way through an update video on that, but honestly, it's been slow going because all the work that happened so far can go up really quickly. The walls and all that. You're like, wow, there's a house or a thing that looks like a house. But what takes a while is the fine work, like the plumbing, the HVAC, the electrical.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that they're working through right now. But that's very important to get
I
that
think
done.
is siding soon?
Siding should be soon. The reason that siding had to wait is because the electrical, plumbing, all that has to be in now because they might have to punch holes through the wall. And they need to know where all the ducts and all the things are and the vents and all that, like the dryer
I guess
duct
that makes
exit.
sense, and cracking it later on, especially with it cold.
Yeah, so all that stuff has to be in place before they put the insulation and stuff on. But they'll be making some progress pretty soon here. There's still no heat in the house. But it's pretty chilly in there.
Yeah.
Hopefully that changes soon. I guess they could bring in a little propane heater if they need to or something, but yeah, they have to make make sure all the ducts are in a row, says Mel Stringer. That's correct. Oh, that was good. So this has just been it. We've had what's been going on? Well, I mean, we did get the tree is up, as Melissa said.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about that tree going up today, the tree that's in the corner that's up, is that it doesn't have lights on or anything yet. But the first thing Abigail did was crawled underneath the tree and hung out there like a fort.
In like the back. She
Yeah.
got stuck under there.
Well, she got herself out.
She did.
But she was just hanging out under
Did
there.
somebody pull a foot?
Yeah, she called Chewy, and so she'd have a little buddy to hang out under the tree with her. That makes me happy.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I used to like hanging out under the tree too. No, I was not a present shaker. I did not ever shake a present. You, on the other hand,
I didn't shake them.
do you open them?
I just opened them up.
Oh, see, no. I could never do that.
I never lied about it.
It was like, for me, presents under the tree were like, you didn't want to jinx it by touching it. Oh, if I touch it, it might go away. I would just let it be and let it sit there. But I did used to like to lie under the tree and look up at the lights. That was always kind of nice, kind of cozy, take an Archie comic, like a double digest down there.
Somebody said, are you going to get a generator? I think we should get a generator since I'd like to flush my toilets if the power goes off.
Hi from Rhonda. You'll be like my dad, Alex. He retired at 59. He turned 80 on the 21st of this month. He has antiques and collectible tables now. Yeah, I will probably still be involved in this business to some degree, even if I don't officially have a store or anything like that. I'm just reading.
5 cats equals no tree.
Retired teacher mom says, I was a present shaker and I hunted around the house for the unwrapped presents. Wow.
Was naughty. There's this thing where you can check if you're on the naughty list, the Santa's official list. My entire family, nice list. The only people on the naughty list, myself and my grandma Hetty, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know
Where
that's
are
an
the
exact
stickers?
science.
There's a science.
I don't think that's an
It's
exact science.
Santa?
Yeah.
How
So
did I not get that? Oh, you're faster than me, Matthew.
there we go.
I think Matthew already got it.
Oh, there we go. I'm just trying to read some of the comments here. We'll answer a few questions before we log off for the day. We've got a few minutes left. So if there's any questions you guys have, if there's anything...
So yeah, toilets don't use electricity flush. Ours does because our pump won't be able to pump the water back up. So our pump uses electricity.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because we have a well.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine our well is going to have a certain amount of pressure in it, even without.
It's not. We remember when the well was turned off. We had instant. There's no water.
We aren't looking at a generator per se. We're actually looking at a solar backup system where there would be like transformer and stuff and
As long as
batteries.
we have batteries, but
Yeah.
it's going to on grid still.
Yeah, we're looking
We'll figure
at.
it out.
We are talking to a company about possibly doing solar for us, so we'll see if we can do that.
My parents would put fake presents. Oh, John Brewer. My parents would put fake presents under the tree that were bowls filled with water covered with cardboard. If shook, the water would spill. Your parents are smart.
That's sneaky. Let's see. You need a diesel generator winter. No, we're planning on solar with batteries as a backup system for our electricity.
That's why it'll work not just during the day because it stores the power in the batteries.
Melody is looking for land as well.
Yeah, it's on a well.
I think that it's a good idea. We just want to accomplish the things. Our whole thing, guys, I mean, the base of our channel is just to do things in life that make you happy because you don't have much life to live. And there's a lot of people that sit and they wait and they wait and they wait, and then before they know it, life is over. And I just never, ever have wanted to be in that situation. I've always wanted to try and accomplish what goals I can, to accomplish anything I can, and to set new goals and new journeys for myself along the way, where you don't get stuck in a rut. And we really just hope that all of you out there have an opportunity to do the things that you enjoy to do as well. And I think back on times in my life where, like, my grandpa is, my grandpa always wanted, he had a 46 Ford when he was a young man. And when he was in his 70s, he wanted to get himself a 46 Ford again. He had the money to do it. He had money, I guess, invested in his house, but he didn't want to go to a senior's lodge or anything like that. And I just said, go get a 46 Ford, go have fun, go enjoy your life. Go do these things that are just, enticing to you. And he wanted to go to Germany, and he never got a chance to go. So there's things that he wanted to do in his life that for whatever reason he stalled out on doing or didn't do, or it wasn't practical at the time. But there is no practical time to do things that you want to do. There's never a great time to do something. There's just a question of whether am I going to make it happen, or am I going to sacrifice things to make it happen.
The things that we actually have happen in our lives are things that we actually made a priority. Like if you say, I'm going to do this, it generally happens. I noticed Josh is on right now.
Oh, hi, Josh.
You guys, after this, if you want to check out Joshua Alexander, he has an amazing channel. And right now he's been working on cutting boards that, Josh, are amazing. And you're right, the oil over top of them, sealing it all in, was pretty satisfying.
I think the last couple of years we were hiding the pickle in the tree.
Yeah.
Not an actual
that was
pickle.
Because of
Pickle
Chantal.
ornament.
Chantal brought over the pickle ornament and...
Yeah. But guys, we really appreciate that you stuck with us for this live feed today. It's been wonderful chatting with you all. Stay tuned for more videos. And for those of you that were wondering about the whole social media thing, Facebook, we're getting some help. And with YouTube, it's all exactly business as usual.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're doing well, and that this holiday season treats you right, and you have a great time with your friends and family and loved ones. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon, and bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.